everyone.
What's up guys, Unofficial MCU here, hope you're all doing well, and in this video we are going to be discussing the Marvel movie release slate for next year, 2024, with all confirmed and current movies for Marvel that are going to be released. Now this year is not only the Marvel Cinematic Universe from like Marvel Studios Disney, but also Sony's Spider-Man Universe movies we're also going to be discussing in this video here as well. So we're going to go ahead and hop right on into it. In this video we are going to be taking a read from the Direct's article. I'll have their article linked in the description down below for you guys to check out there as well. It's time to dive into every major movie joining the greater Marvel universe next year in 2024. Now, all by which of these movies I'll be discussing a little bit in more depth and detail in separate future videos here on the channel. All the more reason to grab that subscribe button if you haven't already. At one point, Marvel's 2024 slate was going to shatter the record for theatrical releases, having tons of them within a single calendar year, with a shocking 6 different titles debuting from both the Marvel Cinematic Universe and Sony's Spider-Man universe. This was before over half a dozen of those films from both universes had faced major delays due to the summer's actors and writers strikes, pushing these releases into 2025 and even later. Specifically, Marvel Studios' Captain America Brave New World and the Thunderbolts movies had been pushed from their release dates, while Sony Pictures was forced to put Spider-Man Beyond the Spider-Verse's release date into question and just on a to-be-determined kind of status for the time being. But all hope is not lost for 2024. There's plenty of other projects for Marvel that are going to be releasing, and if for anything, if I may say, I think that some of those delays is actually a good thing, because superhero fatigue and a little bit of an oversaturation with superhero movies from not just Marvel Studios, but also from other universes like DC or Sonyverse going on there as well. There's just too many projects going on, too many releasing, and it just doesn't really feel important. It doesn't feel special. So having many of those projects now delayed is, I think, if for anything, a good thing, kind of spreading out the calendar for one thing, and it also gives them a much bigger opportunity for them to actually work on those movies a little bit more. So kicking it off, we have Madam Web releasing on February 14th of next year. Sony Pictures will deliver a trio of Spider-Man spin-offs in 2024, starting off by putting Dakota Johnson, Sydney Sweeney, Isabella Merced, and Kelsey T. O'Connor into the spotlight for Madam Web. Johnson stars as the titular Carsana Webb, a New York paramedic who gains the ability to see the future after almost drowning before teaming up with the rest of these spider people. Like all the Sony's other Spider-Man based films, Madam Web is not officially canon to the MCU, and much rather taking place in its own universe separate, but that is going to change probably in the future. But for now, Johnson's heroine could open the door to that crossover due to her experience within the multiverse in the Marvel Comics. But with multiple Spider-Women taking the live-action spotlight for the first time and a number of major stars adding their talents to this universe, Sony is hoping that this movie will put the studio back on track after multiple theatrical flops. Really just the Morbius movie. I still don't know what was going on with that. If for anything, this Madam Web movie honestly looks really killer. I think it has a lot of potential. Okay, so the next one we're going to be discussing is Deadpool 3, releasing on July 26th of next year, 2024. This year, Deadpool 3 is the only actual Marvel Studios movie to be releasing next year, the only MCU movie releasing next year. All of the rest of the movies on this slate that we're discussing in this video are all a part of Sony Pictures and their Spider-Man universe, separate from the MCU. At long last, Ryan Reynolds will take his Wade Wilson Deadpool from the Fox universe into the MCU in 2024's Deadpool 3, giving Marvel Studios its first ever R-rated solo movie. Taking full advantage of the multiverse in the plot as well, Deadpool 3 is also confirmed to bring back Hugh Jackman as Wolverine as Marvel Studios embraces the X-Men. Following delays for the rest of the MCU slate, Marvel Studios made Deadpool 3 the only film in the franchise premiering in 2024, putting pressure on the studio's first R-rated film to succeed in regaining public favor. But with over half a dozen of heroes confirmed for inclusion, and even rumors hinting that megastar singer Taylor Swift could also join the cast, anticipation is expectedly high for what Marvel will do with Wade Wilson and company in Deadpool 3. There's a lot of hype going around for Deadpool 3, and we're continuously talking about that here on the channel. All the more reason to grab that subscribe button if you haven't already. Okay, next we have Kraven the Hunter coming out on August 30th of next year, and I honestly forgot about this movie for a minute, but I think it's going to be really awesome. Aaron Taylor Johnson will be back in the Marvel Universe after playing Pietro, or Quicksilver, in the 2015's Avengers Age of Ultron, with this time embodying Sergei Kravinoff in Sony Pictures' Kraven the Hunter. Joining Oscar winner and Wish leading Lady Ariana DeBose, Marvel and DC veteran Russell Crowe Ferrell, and a few other major stars, Taylor Johnson will portray a new take on Kraven that hasn't been seen before, and I think we're all so excited for it. As shown in the movie's first official trailer, Kraven will also show off his brutal nature as a hunter, although he'll also be humanized to a degree as fans see his origin story alongside the rest of his family. This movie's going to be rated R as well, so it has quite a range to grapple with. Combined with the crazy superpowers he'll gain after a tangle with a wild beast, it's clear that Sony is looking to make a statement with this take on the characters, courtesy of some unexpected changes from his comic counterpart. Next up, and lastly confirmed for 2024 on the release schedule, is Venom 3, coming out on November 8th of next year, but there's also another movie that has a potential maybe to be releasing next year. We're just not quite sure yet. Following two successful solo movies that I think that we've all had loved, that kicked off Sony's Spider universe, alongside with a quick detour into the MCU with Spider-Man No Way Home, Tom Hardy will be back in action as Eddie Brock / Venom in Sony Pictures' Venom 3. Filming initially kicked off for the sequel in June of this year, before the writers and actor strikes had started, and as of November 24th, Tom Hardy had taken to Instagram to confirm that the film had reconvened to finish its production and filming. At the very moment, there are no signs pointing to what kind of story this will be told in Venom 3 into the regards of plot details, although we know that Ted Lasso's Juno Temple is joining the cast as a new character. But after Eddie Brock and Venom had their quick detour into the MCU in the Spider-Man No Way Home post-credit scene, many will be curious to see how entangled these universes now are, and how Venom 3, if for anything, will play into the greater of the MCU, really opening up that whole multiversal aspects of things. Okay, and lastly, we have Spider-Man Beyond the Spider-Verse as the third and potentially final installment to the Sony animated Spider-Verse movies. Yeah, I know, Sony's going really crazy next year with their Spider-Man universe, and it's looking so stellar, and it looks absolutely crazy. Although, this one isn't confirmed to be releasing next year quite yet. The biggest question mark on this list comes in the form of Spider-Man Beyond the Spider-Verse, which was initially set for a March 29th of 2024 release date before it was completely removed from Sony Pictures' release schedule. Since then, there's been nothing said about into the release date of this movie. Its release was only put further into question due to the strikes, but prior to that, star Haley Steinfeld had revealed in June that she hadn't actually recorded any of her material for the next movie at that time. Considering it took around 5 years to bring Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse to life after 2018's Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, including the COVID-induced delays, Sony may be hard at work on its third movie for quite some time. Now, the chances are highly likely that this movie may not even actually be released before the end of 2024, but considering how highly its predecessor was praised, the wait should be worthwhile as Miles Morales completes this thrilling trilogy. This year, all being said, guys, this is the confirmed release slate for Marvel movies coming out next year. Not all a part of necessarily Marvel Studios' Marvel Cinematic Universe with the MCU. Many of these are actually a part of Sony's Spider-Man universe, which I think is really great and a nice change-up of things, if for anything. Of course, guys, I would love to hear all of your thoughts and opinions in the comment section down below, what you guys are all thinking and what movies you're most excited for seeing next year on the big screen. Of course, we're going to continue to keep you guys updated with not all of these movies here that we discussed in today's video, but also everything else going on with Marvel movies inside and out of the MCU, the Sonyverse as well. All the more reason to grab that subscribe button if you haven't already. Thanks so much for watching today's video. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Have a great one. Peace out.